This is USA Takedown. The best guests, all the hot news and predictions on the combat sports of wrestling and MMA with your hosts, the true Americans, Scott Casper and Zach Bogle. Connect with them now on social media and check out usatakedown.com. Now it's time for USA Takedown.
Hello again, everybody. It is USA Takedown. Casper and Bogle with you once again. The true Americans doing it up on this, quite an active week in terms of the Willie trials. And the news, of course, out there that the Ivy is suspending all, fall, winter, and even spring. Well, not suspending spring, but advancing that on to next February. Is that right? I mean, the world of sports has taken a bit of a step back from what we have thought. Well, with football anyway, we thought football had an answer. Basketball did for a while, but they suffered too. But now all sports are being affected by COVID and the coronavirus. And I got to believe that everybody's got an opinion on this. We're here to talk about that and so much more. We've got a great guest on a great guest list, as always, and perhaps Zach Bogle, who's sitting to my right, would you be able to tell us who our guests are today, Zach?
Absolutely. You know that I will. In the second hour today, we have our great friends over at the Wildrose Casinos, Travis Dvorak.
Yeah.
Another great friend of the show, Campbell University head coach Scotty Sentis, MMA and motion picture star Boss Rutan, legendary youth coach Mike Kraus, Barbarian Apparel, shout out to Barbarian Apparel founder Joshua Sasvey, and at the top of the hour, who do we have, Scott?
Cole Spree. Now, before we go to Cole, I want to tell you, you're going to want to make sure you stay tuned during this program because we're going to be giving away some gear from our friends at Barbarian Apparel. So you're going to want to stay tuned. And the number you're going to want to know. Danny, what number do you want them to call for the contesting or the contesting?
Well, that telephone number is going to be 244-1350.
Do it again one more time.
515-244. Frequency is 1350.
1350 ESPN.
Should be easy. Yeah.
Not now, but we'll tell you when to call, okay? So in honor of our very first guest and his, I think, an incredible move by Indian Hills, head coach Cole Spree makes his first appearance on the very program in that role. Good morning, Cole. How are you?
Great. How are you, Scott?
Good, man. It's good to talk to you again, and I'm super pumped when Zach Bogle broke the news to me that they'd hired Cole Spree. I said, who is they? And he said, Indian Hills CC. And I said, like, Indian Hills Community College doesn't have a wrestling program. They do now, and they got a great coach. Congratulations.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Scott.
Let's talk a little bit about how it all came into being, because when so many people around the country, i.e. not so many people, but a few people, Stanford, Fresno State, are looking to pull back from their athletic commitments, you see folks like Grandview. We see folks like Indian Hills. We see folks that are adding men's and women's programs around the country, Presbyterian with Mark Cody, et cetera. This is news and grateful music to my ears. I love it. Tell us how it all started.
Yeah, so it is interesting, and ultimately, we have multiple campuses at Indian Hills, and we've got the Centerville campus, and they were looking at a way of growing enrollment, but doing it the right way. And obviously, with the sport of wrestling being so popular in the state of Iowa, it instantly became, top priority. And then, obviously, with women's wrestling being an emerging sport, and then the opportunity to bring a men's team too, the president, Matt Thompson, and the athletic director, Brett Monahan, just thought it was a match.
So Monahan's been the driving force of this, yeah?
I would say him, and then at the time, the vice president was Matt Thompson. He's now our president. He was a big piece of the puzzle, too.
Well, you know what? If you've got the athletic director, the AD is important. The president's got to be, part of the mix because he's got to sell the whole thing. But they look at the financial aspect of this, right? The men's program. Will there be a women's program?
Yeah, we're actually on the road right now to Marshall, Missouri, and we'll be competing today with the women's team. So we're going to compete against Missouri Valley College and Ottawa University.
And therein was my next question. The follow-up Is it easier today than it was, say, a year ago, than it was 5 years ago to find competition for a women's team? In other words, does that make it more tenable?
Yeah, prior to COVID, I felt like every day I would get on social media and there was a different university or college adding women's wrestling. Right now I think we're sitting around 85. And it's gotten to the point where they've split off into divisions. You got the NAI division, you got the NCAA division, and we actually, with the help of Terry Steiner, have built the NJCAA, community college division. So yeah, I think it's just one of those things that's going to continue to grow. I know that the NJCAA is getting close to acknowledging it and calling it an emerging sport, and I think there's quite a few, junior colleges in this area, and the Midwest especially, that are definitely entertaining the idea, and I think you're going to see it at a lot of them within the next couple of years.
Let's go to Zach Bogle. Zach?
Yeah, Coach, how's it going?
Great. How are you, Zach?
I'm doing all right. Someone on your team that has found some competition is Gina Santiago Ayala.
Yes, Gina did.
So how did that come about? She's going to be wrestling Alexis Gomez at the Wisconsin RTC Rockfin event. How did that all happen?
Actually, Lars Utterbach, he helps out with Wrestle, had hit me up, sent me a text, and I think I replied within 30 seconds and said, we're in. I think some of the people down at Wisconsin RTC were looking. There was another female that was supposed to wrestle Alexis, and then they were looking for a replacement, and I think they found a great match. Gina's definitely got credentials. She was a two-time bronze medalist at Fargo and then a silver medalist at Pan Am's, and that's not the weight class she'll wrestle later in the year, but we're all about competition, any place, anywhere, and it just really puts our program on the map and shows just caliber of athletes that we have on the female side.
We're talking with Cole Spree. He's Indian Hill's first head coach of wrestling. He's a Parkersburg, Iowa native, and if you recall, a few years ago, Parkersburg was hit by a tremendous tornado. The community showed its stripes in coming together, and those around the country came to the aid of Parkersburg. And what a true story that was. But Cole is one of those guys cut from that very same cloth. He doesn't look for a reason to not do something. He figures out a way to do it. And as that evidenced by his time at not only Ellsworth, but also down at Indian Hills now. And I think it's great that you're willing and able to accept all, challenges, if you will, head on. Now, you're heading today again to Missouri?
Yeah, we're headed to Missouri Valley College down in Marshall, Missouri, and we're going to wrestle Missouri Valley and Ottawa University. And, it'll be our first competition. COVID's been kind of a stinker. It hasn't been ideal. We were supposed to compete against the women. Were supposed to open up this past Tuesday against William Penn, and unfortunately that wasn't able to happen. And then we were supposed to compete tomorrow down in McPherson, Kansas, against 4 or 5 colleges, and that got shut down. And then we were fortunate enough to pick up this with Ottawa and Missouri Valley, so we're headed down there today to compete against those 2 teams.
What safety measures are you employing? This question from Danny Bishop, our executive producer. What safety measures are you employing in relationship to protecting your athletes and those that will be competing and coaching?
Yeah, every day about 5 a.m. I get it, and every men's and women's member of the team get it. It's a survey, and we have to take the survey, and if there's anything that flags it, there's probably 20 questions on it. Anything that flags it, they're getting tested, and they're getting shut down. And then obviously we've got mask mandates, while we're lifting and running, and the only time we basically take it off is on the mat. And it's pretty similar at competitions. We actually ran a scrimmage last weekend with our men's team, with Central Methodist and Waldorf University. And, we basically are each team's isolated to a certain area of the arena or the gym, and then, mask anytime you're not on the mat competing.
Let's go back to Zach Bogle. I know that Lori Bogle was what's the middle name that starts with a C? Lori?
That's her maiden name, Castilleja. Yeah. I was actually going to kind of bring that up.
Which means San Diego, by the way.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to bring that up because they live pretty close to your guys' facility, and I've seen some pictures, and I've drove by it a couple times, and that thing's really moving along. When are you guys, when is that all done, or is it finished? It'll
be done early December, probably first or second week of December. And pretty outstanding. The commitment that they gave us there, building us a brand new facility with, coach's office, team lounge, 3 full mats, men's and women's locker rooms, little training area. So, I mean, it's next level, and definitely awesome to see the amount of commitment that Indian Hills has towards wrestling with that.
Is this the first time that you've had your own standalone facility?
Yeah, it is. And I mean, definitely was part of the attraction to coming.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Cal Poly, a program that's been around. The Mustangs have been around for quite some time, and they still, as I think it was like a year ago, they were still practicing in the lunchroom.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some photos of this facility that Coach Spree's going to have here, and this is Division I quality, man. It's really something. You guys got the weight room going as well.
Absolutely, yeah. They just renovated our weight room, all brand new equipment, everything's brand new in it, and then obviously we've got that facility going up, standalone, and yeah, it is next level. I compare it to I think it's better than a lot of Division I's have, and junior college wise, it's got to be in the top 2 or 3 in the country.
That's right. And you guys had that scrimmage like a week ago or 2 weeks ago. You said how was everybody looking?
That was last weekend, and I know we won more matches than we lost, which is always what you want to see from a result standpoint. But the biggest thing was just the way we competed. Obviously we're a first year program with a lot of freshmen, and you don't know what to really expect when they go out there. But we competed not like freshmen, and that was definitely something that was exciting to see as a coach. It makes you feel like what your assistants and yourself have going on is working.
Our guest, Cole Spree, the new head coach, the first head coach of Indian Hills Community College in and around the greater Ottumwa area. I know there are 3 campuses, 2 of which have athletics, but Cole, I'm getting a little choked up here with you on the program, but I appreciate, I hope you do too, appreciate how special this opportunity is, and not just for you and your family, but for your athletes as well. Do you?
Yeah, I do. Obviously it's special to help grow wrestling, not only with just the new program, but also with, the women's side, and to be part of that definitely makes things just that much more special.
Our portion of our show today brought to you by our friends at Ghazali's Mediterranean on 25th near Drake University and PBS Landscaping. Make your plans now for the winter with PBS Landscaping. They'll take care of you. On the mat, you were a 3-time state place winner for Applington Parkersburg High School. That was then, this is now. Do you still get down with the guys on the mat?
I wish I could. I do.
Did we lose him?
Physically.
No, there he is. Okay. So you wish you could, but you do what?
Are you guys still there?
Yeah, we're still here. We can hear you.
Okay. Physically you get older and it gets a little tougher. So I'd say more from a technical standpoint than anything. That's what I get on the mat with.
If I recall, you went to Northwestern College. What was that, in Orange City?
Yeah, I went to Ellsworth Community College. Was a national qualifier, All-American there, and then moved on to Northwestern College and was a 2-time national qualifier for them.
Who was your coach there?
When I was at Northwestern?
Right.
John Petty the first year, and then Rick Dahl, who's currently the coach.
Rick, okay. All right. Well, that makes sense. I have a lot of respect for him, that's for sure. We're super excited for you, dude. I don't know what your bachelor's degree was in. Was it in business or what?
Yeah, business, and then I went on to Minot State as a graduate assistant and completed my MBA there. The
reason I bring that up, I think it's so important for all coaches, especially our young coaches, and gosh knows you put in your work as assistant coach, right? And then manning your own programs. But the reason that I bring it up is because it's so important for coaches to understand from a business perspective how important it is to have a balanced program. When I say balanced, men and women, but also looking at beyond classification, looking at divisions, whether it's NEI programs, where you can get the best competition, how you can best be better. When you said your athletes are competing, not like true freshmen, but like honest to God athletes that just want a chance to compete, I think that's wonderful.
Absolutely. And that's what we preach to them. It's not about, necessarily, the results. We just want performance. We want you to go out there and perform. If you go out there and perform, even if the other guy has a better day, you're going to be a lot happier with the results.
What's the 5-year plan for Indian Hills Community College look like from a 30,000 foot view?
Obviously, continue to grow both programs. I feel great about where we're at right now. We've got 16 females and a little over 30 guys.
Wow.
And so, I feel good where we're at from year one. Ultimately, it's not all about enrollment here, which is awesome. So I don't know if we'll see those teams get much bigger, maybe a little bigger. I don't want crazy numbers.
Right. I
want to be able to give the kids the individual attention that they need and make sure that they're getting better academically, socially, and athletically. But, the end goal, I don't know, make better people and have them graduate and move on and get 40 degrees and, hear from them 5, 10, 15 years from now, know that we bettered their life.
I would believe my old roommate, Tom Arnold, has already been in touch with you to see how he could be a benefactor to the program, yeah?
Yeah, he has not me directly, but he's definitely been in contact with some of the people in the administrative level of seeing how he could help us.
That's pretty cool. I love me some Tommy. No, we didn't always get along. Let's face it, we were roommates, okay?
That's awesome.
One of my great pictures that I have with Tom and I was taken at the Funny Bone out in West Des Moines, Iowa. And
awesome.
It was just great. Several of us roommates got together to watch him tell his stories of us without using our names. He's very funny. He's not so much a joke teller as he is a storyteller. And I think that's going into that. That's why he packs the houses as he does. He recently was back in Iowa where after 26 years, he got back together with his family. Can you imagine being away from your family for 26 years?
That's bizarre.
That. Yeah, no doubt.
Coach, are you doing a good job keeping your wrestlers away from the La Fiesta?
No, what's a La Fiesta?
Some of the best Mexican foods you've ever had, Scott. You're gonna have to come down to Centerville and try it.
Yeah,
I'll do it.
I'm not kidding, man. I've ate a lot of Mexican food up here in Des Moines and everywhere else, and I think that one takes the cake, man.
Will Lori, awesome. Lori and Rodney be?
We'll meet you. We'll take you out. We'll take you out down there.
The Bogle
Coach Spree
clan.
too. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
That'd be fun.
Absolutely.
That'd be fun. Now they have the loaded chips.
They do it all, man, and they do it all to get you in and out of there really quick. That's why I like it.
How do Mexican cooks do it so fast?
I don't know. You're asking the wrong guy. I can't even make a bowl of cereal.
And it's called what again?
La Fiesta. Yeah. Shout out to La Fiesta.
La Fiesta.
And they're good people too. So.
Well, maybe we'll get a discount on our meal. 15%.
Yep.
All right, Cole. Let's give them the address where they can find you online. How can they be more in touch with Indian Hills?
Yeah, we've got a Twitter account, Instagram account, we've got a Facebook account. Indian Hills Wrestling. Definitely come give us a follow. We definitely do a lot of branding and marketing, and we're on there quite often. And we're just pumping out, letting our fans know about our kids and just what's going on with the program. So definitely feel free to give us a follow.
Now, your wife pretty supportive of this move, yeah?
Absolutely. She's actually an Indian Hills alum and from Ottumwa, Iowa. So she's a Southern Iowa girl, and moving back to her family. I'm finally not the black sheep. She's the only one of her immediate family, cousins and stuff, that had moved away, and I could finally go back to Grandma's house.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Cole, it's always good to talk to you, brother, and we'll do it again soon. I promise you that. But stay in touch with us as well, okay?
Absolutely. I appreciate you guys bringing me on, and anything I can do, definitely let me know. Take care.
All right, pal. Your best to everybody there at Indian Hills Community College in Ottumwa, Iowa. And they've got men's and women's wrestling. That was the big question I had because I wasn't able to spend as much time on this particular script as I would like. But I tell you what, we've got some great guests in the balance of this hour, including Barbarian Apparel founder Joshua Cysewski. He's next, barbarianapparel.com. Also, legendary youth coach Mike Kraus. My question to Mike is going to be this. What does Adam Levine, Mariah Carey, Serena Williams, and Kate Winslet all have in common? Well, all of them had low self-esteem in their adolescent years. Well, it's surprising to hear how many beautiful and successful athletes and celebrities who say their younger years blew chunks. Well, guess what? Mike will talk to us about that. He's one of the most incredible coaches I think I've ever watched communicate with kids. I had him and a whole busload of his kids stop in the studio a couple years ago, and it was a real thrill to watch him communicate and relate to these kids, because to me, that's what it's all about. You can be a part of that, as we talked with Mike a little later on in this hour. Stay tuned, there's more. You're listening to USA Takedown, brought to you in part by Mark Cody and his Presbyterian College Blue Hose Wrestling program, by our friends at Defense Soap, whose entire goal is to keep you on the mat, healthy and active. It's Defense Soap. Stay tuned, there's more. Live from the 1350 ESPN studios, you're listening to USA Takedown with Bogle and Casper. More after this.
The coverage of wrestling and MMA continues after this timeout here on USA Takedown. Only on Iowa's sports leader, 1350 ESPN.
Hash browns are always part of my favorite breakfast, and the place to get Des Moines' best breakfast is Mullet's Restaurant. Hi, this is Danny Bishop. Stop by on your bike along Meredith Trail by the confluence of the Raccoon and Des Moines rivers. Sit on their 2-level patio, peruse the famous breakfast menu, and you'll understand why Mullet's is the best breakfast restaurant in Des Moines. Mullet's, celebrating all things about the hairstyle that's business in the front and party in the back. Just go to the west end of the Southeast 1st Street Bridge to find Des Moines' best breakfast at Mullet's Restaurant.
The term barbarian was first used in ancient Greece. The athletes were said to be barbarians. Today's modern athletes embrace the hard work when wearing the great gear from Barbarian Apparel. You make the choice: custom graphics, the best sublimation, colors that pop, and logos that matter. Barbarian provides great service before and after the process. Make the right choice. Choose Barbarian Apparel. BarbarianApparel.com. The Defense Soap Facts. Dateline, Cleveland, Ohio. For 12 years, he competed. For 17 years, he coached. And for 30 years, he's policed the streets of Cleveland. He saw teams and programs decimated by skin-borne disease, a wrestler's worst nightmare. He didn't like the chemical-based products on the market and knew that there had to be a better way, a better defense. He found religion in the ingredients that make up the basis for Defense Soap: tea tree and eucalyptus oil. Defense Soap, all natural, safe to use. It's available around the world now at defensesoap.com.
The wrong financial decisions can undermine the best intentions. Whether concerned for your business or your family's financial future, Trent Weatherman will develop a plan, identifying your goals, and set you on the path to financial security. Trent makes plans for people, no matter your goals. Trent has access to top-rated products and services to help you meet them. In April of 2019, NerdWallet identified Northwestern Mutual as the best life insurance company. Northwestern Mutual is in the top 10 U.S. independent investment broker-dealers in the United States. See the difference for yourself at TrentWeatherman.nm.com.
Welcome back to the show. It is USA Takedown. Casper and Bogle. We're doing it upright each and every Friday live in our ESPN studios here in Des Moines, Iowa. 1350 ESPN. Also online, 102.1 FM. So 2 chances there. And then the post, always appreciated. Danny puts it up on the website at usatakedown.com. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Facebook. Also follow our good friend. Are you ready for it? You ready for it?
Let's go.
Okay, I want you to follow Zach Bogle and his Stalemate show on the YouTube channel. It's blowing up. He's been a master at covering all things Willie trial, breaking it down. Karen and you are no longer friends.
I don't know if we ever were, but yeah. I don't know. I haven't talked to her, so maybe
that's okay.
Maybe there's still a chance. I don't know.
Maybe she could care less. I don't know.
Right. She
all
probably,
right.
Yeah.
If you had a friend and I had a friend that could deliver, say, sweat-activated shirts, who would you be calling right now?
Who would I be calling right now? Well, let's call him.
Who?
Joshua Sasby, Barbarian Apparel. How's it going?
Boop, 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 boop.
Good. How you guys doing?
Oh, it's Joshua
Good morning.
Sasby. Good morning, Josh. How are you, buddy?
Good.
Hey, in honor of your appearance on the program today, I would like to begin our contesting. We've been teasing this for a number of weeks, dare I say months. I want to give away something to help our athletes, coaches, and fans stay healthy. One of the best ways to do that is provide a facial covering. We have asked you to prepare for us some Barbarian Apparel and USA Takedown face coverings. They're called Gators. Can you describe them to our listeners?
Yeah, they're just kind of like the neck sleeves that go around your face.
actually have multiple uses to them. But it gives you the courage you need to, stay safe and get through this virus.
Now, see, all I do is I pull it down, and when I'm ready, I grab both sides, pull it up over or near my ears, and then up on over my mouth and nose. And it's comfortable. It's easy to breathe through. That's the biggest difference. I want to wear it. It's around my neck, even as we speak. Okay, so I'm going to give somebody a chance to win one every single show until I run out, okay? And this is all courtesy of Barbarian Apparel. Okay, so here's what you do. I want you to pick up the phone now. The first caller, and Danny, we may deviate from first caller. We may go to fifth caller, sixth caller in weeks to come. But right now, on the very first time we're going to be doing this, we're going to do the number. Here, it's 515-244-1350. 515-244-1350. What's that?
First caller, then.
First caller, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. It'll make your job so much easier.
Well, I'll pick up
and
the
you'll
phone.
provide the information, and then you'll need to come pick it up. We'll probably get to the point where we will be able to send them to you because they're very portable, very thin, and very easy to transport. 244-1350. First caller gets the inaugural version of the Barbarian Apparel Takedown, USA Takedown Neck Gator. Okay? All right, Josh, let's get to it. The company, Barbarian Apparel, where once it was a dream, it has become a reality and has become... Did we lose Josh? I think we may have. Okay. So we will struggle to get Joshua back on the phone, and hopefully at that point we'll be able to talk, because he just sent me a pic. Did you see the picture of the gym?
I have, but go ahead and explain it for the people, because I think the people need to know about this.
It's rather sick, and I want to tell you that it's.
I've only seen the photos from the very beginning before we got all the mats in and the wall mats and the banners on the side. And let me tell you, this place it's one of a kind. I want to get out there too. I believe it's Cincinnati, right?
Yeah. All right. The colors are black and silver, with just a hint of the red in the name Wrestle. But this is a gym designed from a coach's perspective. Okay, so he wants to be able to teach on this. This room is large. You're not going to feel cramped. And he's rejoining the show now is Joshua Cysewski. Joshua, congratulations on realizing a dream of having your own room. Do we not have Josh? Okay. No. We're still struggling to get Josh. Maybe when we get him on.
They say he's a hard guy to get a hold of.
Wow. Well,
we're finding that out, huh?
He always answers the phone when I call. By the way, we do want to dedicate this program to the passing of a very good man, a man who was remarkable to the sport of wrestling. He provided several boys to our sport that have meant an awful lot to me. I'm talking about the Zadek brothers. We lost Bob Zadek just in the last few days. My thoughts and prayers are to his family, and my gratitude to the Lord for providing Bob for as many days and as many matches as he did. What a tremendous father, great coach, but a guy that absolutely was the epitome of what a wrestling father and coach can be. Bob Zadek. We lost him recently, and our memories will live on surely. And I believe that our thoughts and prayers are with his family, so thank you. And I believe we're back with Josh. Okay, Josh, before we were so rudely interrupted, we will ask you to describe your room. Congratulations on, by the way, realizing that dream, because it's gorgeous.
Yeah, thank you. But yeah, we just added to the business. Just put in a 36 by 66 room. Just to kind of service the area and Southwest Ohio. And try to bring them opportunities they don't normally get to see, and hopefully grow the sport in our area. So that's been the plan. Finally coming together, and once we can get through this virus, we can start making things happen.
BA trained. I like that.
Yep.
I like that a lot. I've been a fan of yours and your wife since we first met in Los Angeles. And I will tell you that, even then you had an impact on me, knowing what your dreams were, listening to what you two were telling me. We instantly became friends, but I had no idea your company was going to blow up nationally and internationally as quickly as it has. And I think a lot of that has to do with the quality of the product that you produce.
Yep.
Tell me a little bit about the theory and practice of not just meeting dollar figures, but meeting the goal of providing good quality equipment that people can, and apparel that people can count on.
I always listen to the customers. I take in the feedback. You can always do better. I think everybody knows that, even in wrestling. So to stay complacent is not the place to be. We're always trying to think of something new or how we can do something better. And, I think the personal approach we have with our company, our customers like as well. So
you also get behind some athletes, and one of them who I think a lot of is Lauren Louise.
She's great.
She's going to be competing in an event coming up
this weekend.
Yeah, this weekend, and I don't want to mention Flow Wrestling, but I will. That's where you're going to be able to watch it anyway. I hope they have a quality set of announcers calling the action, because I certainly can't afford to spend any time listening to Christian Piles.
All right.
Bag on him. I do want to know that, or do want our fans to know that she is one of the level best in the sport today, period.
Yep.
How do you make a determination about the athletes that you align yourself with, that you want aligned with your product and your brand name?
I get a little feedback from, actually my athletes kind of, guide me to people they think would suit me best. And, the people that reach out to me, we get to talking, they like it's more of a family with Barbarian. So I'm always a phone call away for them. And, that's the main thing is just,
They should write a song about that. I'm one call away. Yeah. Anyway, maybe they've already have. All right, so Barbarian Apparel's got Lauren Louise in the stable, as it were, of great athletes. Who else do you have? Who else are you related to?
I got Earl Hall. He's a new pickup.
Love Earl.
Precious Bell.
Okay.
And then we got Hancock, Patrick Martinez, Tyler Grass, my original, and Rayvon Perkins. So, and we have
a great
couple more
team right there
in the works.
Anybody you want to drop a dime on?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Don't want to.
People aren't considering.
Maybe we could start a little Twitter battle about that. Let's go to Zach Bogle. Zach, this is you're familiar with Barbarian because you actually, Stalemates, the program, utilizes Barbarian gear as well.
Yeah, we did. We gave away a mask on our Instagram page, at Stalemate Show, and people loved them. I love them. It's probably my favorite mask to wear. I'm not just saying that. I have to wear a mask all day at the barbershop,
yes,
and this is a very comfortable one to do that in. I saw recently you had Tyler Graff in the room doing a clinic. How did that go? Is Tyler a good clinician?
Oh, yeah. Tyler's great. He does a great job with, the kids. Even when he does a good job of breaking them, but, at the same time helping them out. And it's just amazing how calm he is with everybody. He's definitely one of my favorite, people to watch, show a camp or, a clinic.
And you said you recently signed Earl Hall. Why'd you pick Earl Hall? I mean, he was one of my favorite wrestlers to watch at Iowa State. That guy, he was never out of a match. He could always kind of use his funk to keep himself in there. Why did you end up going with Earl Hall?
I've kind of known his uncle for a while, so I've got to know the family a little bit, at least to that side of it, and pretty much I've always kind of kept tabs on him. I like the way he wrestles. And just the way he handles himself, I've always, I actually was trying to get him a couple years back, and he wasn't as social media savvy. And, now we just recently, I was like, man, I've been trying to get you. He said, I know. But so it all worked out. And he's just a great kid, and I think he's got a bright future.
Is that part of what you look into? Is the social media, like how they're doing their socials or how active they are when you're signing somebody?
That's helpful, at least now that I'm actually getting into the social media stuff myself. But I've learned a few lessons on the way.
Yeah.
But that just how they conduct themselves is definitely a consideration.
You said you learned a few lessons along the way. Does that make you more experienced, I guess, when you're signing people? Do you do a little bit more digging maybe, or what does that look like?
Yeah, I try to get a little feedback from, various people, just, work ethic and things like that. And, just how they are as an individual. We try to get some good people or people who are trying to do some good,
I think you're doing a great job. We love what you're doing over here, and I appreciate the mass and everything that you've done for us.
Yeah, appreciate it.
And we do have a winner, by the way. Tony Varner is the inaugural winner of our contest. So congratulations to Tony, and we'll make sure that gator is here. The address here, Danny, is what? Is it 1312?
The address here at the radio station's 1416 Locust Street.
1416 Locust.
That's right.
Okay, we'll get that into the script. 1416 Locust. And Tony will be able to pick that up as soon as we get off the air.
Yes,
at
right.
11 o'clock. So
Perfect.
That's very cool. Our guest is the founder. He and his wife are the founders of Barbarian Apparel, which has taken on Did you ever think it would get this big this quick?
No, not really.
It's crazy. I mean, you have international appeal. You're outfitting teams outside the borders of the continental United States. What are some of the countries, or who are some of the countries you've been taking care of?
We do clubs in Sweden, Denmark's. Obviously, my main path into the Norwegians. We do some Norway clubs. A little bit in Germany. And then we did the 16s in the Olympics, the 6 countries. So, I think once these countries can kind of get back to normal and things like that, we'll ramp that up again. And so, I think we just had a Norwegian club reach out, so we're about to do some gear for them.
What's the weirdest thing, or perhaps the most creative thing, that you've been asked to put on a singlet on gear?
Probably can't say it on the air.
Right.
But I don't know off the top of my head. Some of these parents are crazy. Especially
I don't think that's
parents.
breaking news.
No. Breaking news? No, that is not breaking news. A lot of them are, and we love that that's perhaps the best thing about wrestling is parents are still involved all the way up through the collegiate years and beyond. I think it's terrific. So don't be afraid, folks. Get online. Go to barbarianapparel.com, barbarianapparel.com. It'll be there. You can find out about their packages. And coaches, this is a great time during this downtime, as it were, in our sport, competitively speaking. I would suggest that maybe you take a look at who you're buying your packages from. Not only are they affordable, they're well made. They stand behind their gear, and they don't want your order. I think that, am I right in that, Josh? You don't just want an order. You want a relationship with the coaches, with the parents, with the athletes.
Absolutely. It's kind of great to learn, the different backgrounds and the way people do things. That's the fun part about what I do, on the travels.
Barbarian will do it. Barbarian will set up team stores for you, by the way. Check out the BA Center. The pics are there. The store is active. You can contact us, or contact them, I should say, in Norwood, Ohio, right there on Lawn Avenue, and we appreciate that. So we gave away the first neck gaiter. It's on. From this point on, until we run out, we will be giving away a neck gaiter on every single program. Hey, we may go crazy and give away 2. You don't know. All right, Josh, we're going to cut you loose, get you back to work. Appreciate you taking the time to chat with us this morning on USA Takedown. Appreciate all the support over these many years. and we'll do whatever we can to help make sure that you continue your road to success.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
Barbarian Apparel right there, Norwood, Ohio's own. But they are taking care of Team USA and Team the World, as far as I'm concerned. They can take care of your team and your athletes as well. BarbarianApparel.com. Stay tuned. There's more USA Takedown. Bogle and Casper continue on 1350. This is ESPN.
All guests on the USA Takedown appear on the Defense Soap Newsmaker Hotline. Made in the USA with unparalleled quality, and it's guaranteed. Defense Soap. It's what the pros use.
Hi, it's Danny Bishop. Today's economy presents certain challenges, and along with those come opportunities. The potential rewards are for those who are adept at identifying long-term trends. Don Boyd and his team of financial advisors at 5 Talents Financial Management Group can help you navigate today's economy. Whether you're facing retirement or just looking to better understand certain investment ideas, they can help you. 5 Talents Financial Management Group's first priority is your overall financial success. And that's why they learn about your individual situation, identify your dreams and goals, and get a picture of your tolerance for risk. Long-term relationships that encourage open and honest communication are the cornerstone of their foundation of success. FTFMG.com or call 223-7487, 223-7487. 5 Talents Financial Management Group.
Communities need leaders. The birthplace of Bob Feller, Van Meter, Iowa, has too. Paul Cysewski and Jim Sinclair have always been there for their community and for the thing that drives us, wrestling. In a position to help or need a cause to get behind, your neighbors and friends can use a hand. Leaders always come together to help, to plan, and to work to make their communities a better place to live. So special thanks to Jim Sinclair and Paul Cysewski, 2 examples of men who lead. Follow these 2 professionals on LinkedIn for investment opportunities and more. Calderberg's PBS Landscaping knows what grows best in Iowa because they're from Iowa. Locally owned and operated, Calderberg's is a full-service landscaping and lawn care company. Everything you need from lawn care and landscape design to water features, tree planting, irrigation, and snow removal. Matt Calderberg and his staff are great. They take care of my family year-round. They can take care of yours, too. My office and home, they cover it all. They're my friends and should be yours as well. Visit them at calderberglandscaping.com.
All right, welcome back to the Wildrose Casino Studios. We got another special guest. Scott's been talking awfully high on this guy. Go ahead and why don't you do the honors of introducing him?
Well, I teased it earlier, and I said, what do Adam Levine, Mariah Carey, Serena Williams, Kate Winslet, Venus Williams, and so many that have lowest self-esteem in their adolescent years? Well, they all have that in common. One of the guys I've seen take somebody with low self-esteem, okay, and work with them and bring out the very best in them is a guy I'm proud to call a friend. He's a legendary coach in my estimation and that of our sport. He is Coach Mike Krause. Coach, how are you?
Boy, Scott, I appreciate that. Thanks. I'm doing great. How you doing?
I am so pumped up. Every time I get a chance to talk to you. Now, Zach said, tell me more about Mike Krause. I said, just wait. I mean, what's incredible is that a very good coach will, without you even know it, take you down a few pegs, if only to build you up that much and that many more. There's an art to it. You seem to not only have figured it out, but you seemingly are rewriting the coaching manual on how to do it. Mike, where does it come from?
Well, I totally appreciate that, Scott. You're correct.
Thank you.
My technique is different. I mean, the thing is, too, I call it fun but firm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I coach little kids for the most part, 5-year-olds to 12-year-olds to 14-year-olds, and you can't tear those kids down without building them back up.
Right. I can't imagine leaving a room as a little kid, having been torn down, and there was no positivity that transpired between me and that coach that did the damage.
Exactly. I've seen it too, Scott. I have seen bully coaches at the youth level, and it totally breaks my heart. You know, we don't need to make any kids feel bad. You can light them up. But when I light them up, when I'm done lighting them up, I make them say, "Thanks, Coach. And when they say, thanks, Coach, we all give them one big clap. Give that kid one big clap.
Everybody does it. And they expect it. When you were at the studio, I was like, oh, wait a minute. He just did that, and everybody did it with him. Everybody clapped.
Yeah. I like it. I'm already getting fired up. Do you take 25-year-old clients?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do this.
All right, let's go.
Next.
It's funny, too, Scott, at the beginning of all my clinics, I have the same skit, if you will. I walk in there, I say, thanks for coming. I'm Mike Krause. From this point forward, and call me Coach Krause. Give me a Coach Krause on 3. And then we count to 3. We all say Coach Krause. If it's not loud enough, I say Coach Krause on 3. 1, 2, 3, Coach Krause. I got 5 rules. Pardon me?
Where do you get the energy from?
Well, I mean, truly, I loved camps back in the day and I love the camp guy. I love when the camp guys, mess with each other. I love the attitude, other personalities, and I know that these kids come to my clinics. They want to experience that.
Yeah.
So if I'm just, not very enthusiastic, if my energy level is not high, they walk away not remembering anything. But just for instance, the other day I was in Indiana, and these kids, their brothers and sisters, there's 4 of them. They didn't have a clue who I was. Their parents just brought me to the clinic. And this one made my whole year. That night they went home, and then the dad came back the next day and he said, "Oh my gosh, I don't know what happened here, but my kids were all like, who's the best? I'm the best. Who's tired? Not me. Oh my gosh, let's do this. How many is that? Who cares? What's going on here?" And I'm like, oh my God, that just warmed my soul. These kids have no idea who I am, and they went home so excited, and their dad was so excited they came back to see what's going on. I'm like, this is what I'm doing. I love it. Thanks.
That's awesome, man. I'm getting good energy just through the airwaves here.
You're gonna want to put them on stalemates. I'm telling you what. You're gonna want to do it.
Let's do it. Was there a certain clinician when you were growing up that kind of sparked that in you?
Oh my gosh, I'm glad you asked that. It's a great question. Yes, there was. His name was Sergeant Fury.
Okay.
I've only told this story a couple times. It was at the month-long I Did It camp back in '86.
Wow.
28 days of torture. And this guy was a huge man.
Yep.
His name was Fury, and he went by Sergeant Fury. And what he did was he pretended to be a sergeant every day of practice, and it just cracked us up. Gentlemen, we're going to win this match because we have superior firepower, superior intelligence, and superior. I mean, it was just funny. And so we imitated him. He made it fun. And when I do my coaching clinics, I always tell the other coaches, if your kids are imitating you in a positive way, you're doing it right.
That's cool though, right? I mean, and it's also quite a compliment that kids, find something in you that they want to replicate.
Exactly.
What an honor. Do you? What was it? 2 years ago, you were in studio with me with kids on the first tour.
We had the Battle of the Bus, man. That was fantastic. That and then Scott, thanks again for that. The kids loved it. We felt like we were super cool, which we at that point we were. That was 2 years ago. Maybe three.
I think it's actually probably closer to 3. I seem to have lost a year in there, but I've regained it. I've regained it in pounds. Our guest is Coach Krause. You find him online at MikeKrauseWrestling.com, and he is the founder of Next Level Wrestling Academy. It's well known across the country, most notable recently for taking the Adidas bus on the road, and they are proud supporters of yours, proud sponsors of Adidas Wrestling. You can also find and request the Adidas catalog by entering your email on his website. Don't be shy about it. Adidas will happily send out some information to you. Good folks there, Tom and everybody. Just can't say enough about good things about
Tom Scully. We love Tom Scully.
Yeah.
Scully.
Man, I think I need to throw away my Keurig and just call you every morning, man.
Let's go, Zach. Pick it up.
All right, I'm doing jumping jacks in the studio.
All right, we're going to take a break, and we're going to hold you through the break, Coach. And here's the deal. On the other side of the break, I want you to give us your top 5 rules, okay? Top 5 rules of engagement, top 5 rules of what kids should expect when they come into a camp with you, to the academy with you, and what it means to wear the next level gear. Because quite frankly, it's like the J-Rob "I did it" shirt, right?
Oh man, I appreciate that. That's awesome. I appreciate that.
Jay is one of my heroes, and I'm sure he is one of yours as well.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, stay tuned. There's more on the other side. More with our guest. He is Coach Mike Krause, the legendary youth coach, and even at his tender age, he is a father of 4. And and regarded as one of the best coaches in the country. Stay tuned and find out more on the other side of the break. This is USA Takedown, only on 1350 ESPN Radio. Stay tuned.
All USA Takedown guests appear on the Defense Soap Newsmaker Hotline. Made in the USA with unparalleled quality, and it's guaranteed Defense Soap. It's what the pros use.
The Defense Soap Facts. Dateline, Cleveland, Ohio. For 12 years, he competed. For 17 years, he coached. And for 30 years, he's policed the streets of Cleveland. He saw teams and programs decimated by skin-borne disease, a wrestler's worst nightmare. He didn't like the chemical-based products on the market and knew that there had to be a better way, a better defense. He found religion in the ingredients that make up the basis for Defense Soap. Tea tree and eucalyptus oil. Defense Soap. All natural, safe to use. It's available around the world now at defensesoap.com.
You deserve it. A break, a getaway, an escape from the everyday. So why not get away to Wildrose? A few hours at Wildrose with exciting slots and table games, a great meal at Coach's, or a winning wager on the game at our DraftKings Sportsbook is just what you need. And when you sign up for Club Wild, the wins really start to add up. Wildrose Casino and Resort in Jefferson. Winners wanted.
Must be 21 or older. If you or someone you know needs gambling treatment, call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Can you imagine being a clinician where there are 1,000 wrestlers, let's say iron sharpens iron, and then being voted by the wrestlers as the number one clinician at the event, not just 1 year, not 2 years, but many years. Number one clinician. I'm talking about Coach Mike Krause.
Get back.
What? If I say, say 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, Coach Krause on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Coach Krause.
All right.
You're getting there. Hey, there's technique to that too. When I'm doing coaching clinics, I've seen people try to stumble through making kids say things on 3, and to get really in detail, it's your voice inflection, and it's how you bring it up and how you use your hands. Give me one big clap. Give me one big clap. I've seen guys say, give me a big clap. Give me a big clap. There's no rhythm there. The kids can't get the clap all at the same time. It's give me one big clap.
So instead, what you get is crap. You don't get clap, you get crap.
That's right.
Exactly.
All right. Let's go back to Zach Bogle. Zach, this is a cat I knew you were going to get along with.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of times people in the wrestling world can talk negative and say numbers are down and wrestling's dying and stuff, and I kind of hate that. Scott's kind of talked about that with me a little bit as well. Are you seeing that? Are these kids excited to wrestle, and how are the numbers looking at your camps?
Well, I mean, here's the story. Okay, this whole thing hit back in April, and thank God, April and May are my down months. I had a few tournament warm-ups I was doing that got postponed or whatnot, and then June hit. I had to push some of my college camps. Some of the college camps obviously got canceled, but for the most part, all the camps got pushed. And for the June, I did Texas, New Mexico, Kansas. They were open. They were taking temperatures, no big deal. But it's been affected. But kids are still hungry. Kids are still chomping at the bit. And my last few camps have been just fantastic. So to answer your question, wrestling is not down. The kids love it.
Thank you.
High school is going crazy, and this is all going to actually, even if some of the seasons are affected by it negatively, like I think we might be, we're going to bounce back twofold.
I got to tell you, my buddy and a friend of yours thinks the world of you. His name's Mark Cody.
I love Cody.
Cody is along that same line. He wants the best of his athletes, expects the best from them, but he'll give them all the tools it takes to get there, right?
He's the nicest guy too. What a great person.
And isn't that the secret to our sport? To be successful in it, you have to be willing to listen. You have to be willing to learn. Open yourself up, because a good wrestler never stops learning. You take a look at a guy like Jordan Burroughs. He's constantly adjusting his game.
100%.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily have to agree with him politically, but I sure agree with him athletically. He's a great father, great husband, and I think and a great dude. That's what it boils all down to me. It boils down to what kind of person do you have to work with from the very get-go. You've seen the best, and you've seen guys that could be truly worked on.
Exactly.
Do you focus on those kids that really need the additional work because you know that somewhere inside of them is the quality athlete that quality kid that needs to come out, wants to come out?
Yeah. Here's the deal. I don't play favorites when it comes to ability. In fact, some of the kids who are the best wrestlers sometimes are the biggest jerks, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So they think they're entitled. So the bottom line is, when I'm doing my techniques, I walk around every single group. I try to give every kid the business, positive and little jabs. You're better than that. Come on, pick it up. But but no, I don't play favorites. I mean, it's on I tell kids, here's the deal. Let's go back to your earlier question with the 5 rules. Rule number 1, you got to pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
If I catch kids not paying attention, I light you up, and I tell them, I'm not mad at you. You're 6 years old. It's hard to pay attention. When I do light you up, it's a gift. They'll say, thanks, coach. And they're like, hey, pay attention. And I point at him, the kid goes, thanks, coach. And I'm like, give one big clap. Right. So A, I lit him up, and then B, I brought him back up, and we all gave him one big clap. You're not really in trouble, but you just got the verbal.
Rule
number two. Rule number 2 is effort. I need full effort. I don't care if you're all world or if it's your first day. If I think you're slacking off, I'm going to light you up, and that's a gift too. Thanks, coach, on 3. 1, 2, 3. Thanks, coach. Rule number 3 is important. It's called try not to cry. I didn't say don't cry because I get it. You get kicked in the face. You get that sweet taste in your throat. You're getting your butt kicked in front of your mom and your grandma. Your natural reaction is to cry. But guess what? Try not to. And then the kid's like, okay. In fact, I also say this. Before I say number 3, I say, everybody raise their hand if you're still crying during a match. If you're still crying during a match in front of your opponent, raise your hand. And the kids all raise their hand. And I say, repeat after me, and they go, I'm, crybaby. And they all laugh. And I'm like, seriously, don't let them see you cry. It's like losing twice. You lost once on the mat, which is fine if you give full effort, but then you lost in your head, and nobody gets in my head. You're like, oh, yeah, right. Rule number 4 is simple, no talking when a coach is talking. That goes to the parents more than the kids. I love letting the parents up, hey, give that mom a warning on 3, 1, 2, 3, warning. Kids all laugh. And rule number 5, Scott, I did this one about 3 years ago. This is important, man, because I'm seeing it all over the nation. It's called respect. What's it called? Respect. When I say hustle, what do I mean? Hustle. And then I have to go into detail. I say, when I call you out here to show technique, if you roll your eyes at me, and then I do a head roll, I go, I'm going to lose my mind. And I said, if you slow roll me when I call on you, if I call on you and you slowly get up, like you can't believe it, like I'm putting you out to show technique, I'm going to lose my mind. Mm-hmm. And the kids are like, yeah, because it happens once every 2 or 3 camps. Some kid rolls his eyes at me big time. And I go, oh, there it is. There's the guy. And we all go, yeah, he didn't mean it. And I got a big, huge skit about why you don't roll your eyes at people. But those are my rules. Pay attention, give 100%, try not to cry, don't talk when I'm talking, and show respect.
He is Coach Mike Krause. Coach, there is opportunities out there for other coaches that want their kids to get better. Sometimes they need to bring somebody else in. Sometimes a fresh view, a fresh perspective is advantageous. How can they be in touch with you?
Well, you can just you can send me an email at nxtlvl, next level wrestling @hotmail.com, or find me on Facebook, or just Google Mike Krause Wrestling, and my website pops up. You can actually contact me, contact Coach Krause. I got my weekends are booked until pretty much January, but I'm doing weekend camps all through March.
And it's, you know what, folks, if you think this is expensive, it's not. This is well worth its weight in gold. He's not going to nickel and dime you. It's not going to be like a Shamrock camp. This is a, and it's not that's Kenny's deal, right? I'm not knocking Ken. I'm just saying there are programs out there that are genuinely interested in seeing your kids be the best that they can be. He's a father himself. He understands it. He gets it. The best youth coach in the country, my estimation, and I believe I'm right, is Coach Mike Krause. Coach, it's always good to talk to you. We're up against the clock, top of the hour on ESPN Radio.
All right.
Can we do it again?
We can do it again for sure, anytime. Let me know. You guys are great.
All right, buddy. What do I say on 3? 1, 2, 3.
No. Hey, no, get back. Get back on 3. 1, 2, 3. Get back.
All right.
Where were you? I was on 2.
I'm ready to go now. I'm ready to go.
Thanks, Mike.
Get back on 3. 1, 2, 3. Get back.
Love it, buddy. There we go. Coach Mike Krause heads to the showers, if only for a brief minute, because he's going to be coaching somebody in a minute. He just coached us up. Did you feel it?
I'm currently headed to Kentucky, guys. I'm going to Kentucky right now.
Have fun, brother. I'll talk to you soon.
How about those Friday vibes?
All right. Mike Krause. I'll tell you what, stay tuned. Hour number 2 is coming up. We've got a great program still on tap. Defense Soap Newsmaker hotlines include How about this? MMA star, motion picture star, Bas Rutan is our good buddy. Camel's head coach, Scotty Sentes, and Wildrose Casino's Travis Dvorak. They're giving away all sorts of stuff. Stay tuned. More after this.
KRNT Des Moines. The Des Moines Radio Group station, 1350 ESPN. Online at espndesmoines.com and simulcasting on 102.1 FM.
All right, welcome back to the show. Hey, it's easy enough to be a leader in your community, but are you a vocal leader? Are you a leader that is everybody turns to when, say, your wrestling program needs some motivation, some guidance, some financial assistance, a fundraising event? Well, let me tell you something. There are a couple guys that I respect a great deal. Jimmy Sinclair, who is a landmark contributor to the Hawkeye Wrestling Facility, the Hawkeye Wrestling Club. Jim Sinclair really set the bar high in his initial gift, and I know there are other gifts that we won't discuss on air, but he's been a remarkable addition to the Hawkeye Wrestling Club these many years. Also, Paul Cysewski. These guys know what it means to be a benefit to the communities that they serve. They're not somebody or people that just take. I would invite you to check out our friends Paul Cysewski and Jim Sinclair and their very many business adventures. That's what they are. They're adventures, not ventures. They're adventures. And you can be just like that to your community as well. Okay? Easy enough to do. All right. We've got some great guests lined up in this hour. Travis Dvorak from Wildrose Casino is going to be joining us a little later on in the hour to talk about what's going on at Wildrose in terms of the COVID, but they're still giving away cars. They're still making stars, and the stars are attached to dollar bills. And I'm talking about big-time money, $13,000 single pulls. I'm talking about cash on the table. I'm talking about 21 or roulette. I'm talking about the fast action as only the full-service casinos can offer. That is Wildrose Casino. So you want to stay tuned for that. In the middle of it all, we've got Campbell's head coach, Scotty Sentes, and to start the hour off, now this is an interview that is only interrupted by his filming schedule. He is a friend of ours. His given name is Sebastian, but his friends call him Boss. His name, Bas Rutan. Boss, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing great, Scott. How you doing?
Oh, very well. I'm so pumped. And by the way, our last guest in hour number one was super psyched that you were going to be in the show. I'm talking about Mike Krause up in Michigan. But he's been a fan of yours for these many years, clear back to your days as the king of pancrase. Update everybody. Tell everybody what's going on with you on television. There was all those many years with Inside MMA on HDNet with our good buddy Kenny Rice and Ronnie Kruk. But tell everybody what you're doing now and your supposed impact. I think it's been terrific on the sport of mixed martial arts.
Right now with the COVID, unfortunately, I was going to do a movie, and that was a number 2 of a very successful number 1 movie, and I was so happy because it was this time I was going to be a badass guy, because that I did comedy already. I'd like to be a badass one time too, and but unfortunately this COVID thing happened, and now it's got to postponed. So, but you know what? It's there. It's a rain check. We got a rain check. So let's hope as soon as this is behind us, I can restart with it. So all my focus right now is actually going to that lung training device I invented when I was 14, and I made it 10 years ago. Cured me from my asthma, cured many people from their asthma, and it's doing really well right now because finally doctors start seeing it, and breed specialists, and they actually put it in their books without me even asking them. So yeah, that's been a very pleasant surprise for me to help people, with the lung disease that I had as a kid, and athletes, needless to say, as well.
I don't know if you recall this or not, but I had left a message for you, and then we both hit travel schedules, and then I saw you. I was announcing or something, and you were doing television. I think it was an IFL event in Chicago. Does that ring a bell?
Oh, that can ring a bell, yeah. The International Fight League?
Yeah.
That's a while back, brother.
Well, you're 55 and I'm 60. How about that?
Yeah, I must stop nobody.
So, and I know that it's a long way from Tilburg, Netherlands, but you have made a home for yourself literally on the world stage by being that cat. I mean, you were literally in your competitive years one of the best of the best. You didn't stop there. When you stopped competing, you picked up the reins of being a great instructor. You have a remarkable ability of passing on your information to those you coach. Where does that come from? I don't even know when you understand that you have that ability, but where does that come from? I would say the same thing, by the way, about Randy Couture.
Yeah, no, I had that with pretty much any sport. I'm just, I'm blessed with great genetics from my dad's side. They're all athletes, track and field and gymnastics. So, it was kind of bred in there. So I started with track and field. And most of the time, what I can see, I can do. And if I can do it, well, then I'm going to make sure I can do it the next day. I'm very obsessive compulsive. I always give this example to people. I was a badass karate guy. I was a black belt karate. Nobody in my school could handle me. And I went to the first Thai boxing class. And guess what? My hands were lower than a normal Thai boxer was. So I was sparring against this A-class fighter, which is a professional Thai boxer. And he very fast figured out, of course, because he's a professional, that if he hits my hands or my head, my hands have to go up faster because they're lower. They're not at my jaw. So I overcommit to it. So as soon as I did that, that's when he dropped me with a liver shot. That's where my love for the liver shot comes from. So in my first Thai boxing class, I got dropped with a liver shot, and it was horrendous to me because I've never been down to the body. It was crazy. That night, I spent 4 hours, 3.5 to 4 hours in front of the mirror, punching from my jaw. The next day, when I went back, they actually thought, because I cleaned out 80% of the gym, and they thought I was playing a trick on them, that I already knew how to box and just acted the day before, that I couldn't box. I said, no, I spent 3.5, 4 hours in front of a mirror. And people go like 3.5, 4 hours. I say, do 20 minutes and see how long that is. And now do 3.5 hours. You see, so if I see a problem, I want to fix it immediately.
If you want to see Boss in action, I want you to do me a favor. Just go to YouTube and search for Boss Rutan, and videos will pop up like crazy. But you're going to want to get a little bit of what we sense every time I'm around him. I get so pumped up. And it's always positivity, Boss. I've never heard you negative. I recall you and Kenny, I was announcing, I think it was at the Thomas and Mack Center. You guys were doing the television of the event. And I think Mike Tyson was sitting next to me. Do you remember this event?
Yes, I remember. Okay.
And as I was getting up, you guys, I don't even think we're on camera yet, but you, in a side comment, made fun of me, which, teasing, okay, it wasn't a negative shot, but you made it okay for me to lose the butterflies and get down to work, and we had a great night of fights. But I will always remember that every time I've been around you. My point is, every time I've been around you, it's very, very positive. I think that you find that there's very little to be had from a negative lifestyle.
There is nothing. I had a horrible skin disease. I was the leper in school. That's what they called me. So my hands, everything. So I was an outcast. People were afraid of me. Kids were afraid of me. But the way for me to connect was either doing crazy things and comedy, And I always thought, because I had like these attacks. My hands would be like 3 months out of the year. It would be really bad. And I would have asthma attacks like every 6 weeks for like 7-8 days in bed, not able to eat because I couldn't breathe. So that was very prominent. But I always knew that there were people who had that eczema that I had for like 3-4 months. They had it entire year long, and their entire body would be covered. And the guys with the asthma attack I had for 8 days, I knew there were people out there who had that 365 days a year. So I always compared myself to those people, and compared to them, well, it's not that bad, you see. So that's what's the thing that I always used with anything. I always tell people, oh, life is down, this is, and when they're completely depressed, I say, every person 6 feet deep will trade places with you in a second right now. How bad your life is, it doesn't matter. 1 second, he will trade places with you. Living, man, come on, live your life.
We're talking with Boss Rutan. He's a motion picture star and the king of pancreas, a UFC champion. If I go back in your filmology on DMDB, I look back on all the cover arts. My favorite, and there are movies certainly that were very well written that you've been a part of, but I will tell you, my favorite cover art of any movie was the movie that you did in 2005, Backlash. The cover art, yeah, the cover art I'm talking about, chick in a bikini, no top, from the backside. But just very, very, well, most guys would like it. That's all I'm saying. But my favorite movies, I think, that you've been a part of, the Kevin James products, Kevin Can Wait, Paul Blart, Mall Cop 2, Zookeeper. What is it with you and James?
We just connected. He used to watch my fights on pay-per-view from Japan. So when he just started the first season of King of Queens, I just arrived. I was in '97 in America. And when he found out, his management called me and they said, hey, would you love to meet him? He would like to work out with you. And we come to find out he's like, he could be my brother. He's like the same guy. We clicked immediately and became just real good friends. And then over the years, that's what people always say, oh, you have to ask him. I said, I've never, ever in my life asked him if I could be in a movie. I said, because that ruins the friendship.
Yeah.
If it comes, it's got to be coming from them. And unfortunately for me, I did some good work. I did this comedy, this short comedy, which won first prize at the New York Film Festival. It was called Kingdom of Ultimate Power. And I was the lead in that. And it was a really hyper guy, Vlad Rivka, a guy from Russia. And it was very fun to play. But that movie actually helped me to get the movie for Sony, because when he said to the people at Sony, hey, I want Bas for this part, they said, oh, he's a fighter. We cannot do this. We cannot take the risk. This is a supporting actor's part, And then he showed them that movie, and thankfully they said, okay, yeah, he can do it. So that was cool, and it's always been like that. Whenever he has or something, he just always rings the bell and he calls me. And we meet also a couple of times a year for a week. We're all together having a good time. He's just that's the guy who never changed.
Right.
When I met him, he's exactly the same. And when I met him, he lived in a one-bedroom apartment that he was sharing with his brother.
Wow.
So he's exactly the same dude.
And I will tell you, also, he was a wrestler, so he does have martial arts background himself. I do want to ask you, Bas, before we lose track of time completely, there's a piece that I was involved with on the sales side, in other words, in selling the product. And that was a piece largely about Mark Kerr, the Smashing Machine. Looking at it then and looking at it now, do you have a different opinion of what that film or that documentary did?
No, I think it did great. I think it was very courageous for Mark Kerr to just put it out there that he's shooting himself up with Nubain, with painkillers, and because it's a problem. We have this epidemic painkillers right now, and it's always been here. Because they give you freaking Vicodin for a toothache. I had a problem. I've been thinking an OxyContin problem for like a year and a half, and thankfully I figured it out. I go, dude, I'm addicted. This is so crazy. It's very hard to get off that crap,
Right.
So for him to throw it out there, I thought it was great. And then you can literally see how a guy who a god pretty much, I mean, he was destroying everybody, just lost his battle against pills, and that just ruined his career. So hopefully people see that and they go like, drugs and alcohol. That's the one thing I always tell people: it will never go better. It will only go worse. You will find not one person on the planet who says, "Oh, I had a great life using drugs." It all goes worse and worse and worse. So you have to recognize that, and you have to stop immediately. I mean, get a new life. But it's hard. It's very hard. Some people, especially this time right now, look what we're creating with the COVID. A lot of addiction, a lot of suicide, a lot of marital breakups, divorces. I mean, everybody's getting crazy. So it's a shame. My cousin, he's been a heroin addict his whole life, always worked, never stole a cent. Then he became alcohol, and he was clean for a year and a half, and then COVID hit. Now, he sits in his apartment. He doesn't have friends. Sits all day long by himself. Yeah, of course he's going to start drinking again,
Wow.
So poor guy.
Now, I do want to there's one other thing before we lose it completely, but Mark Kerr, last I talked to him was, 3 years ago, I suppose? I don't know if you've maintained any contact with him at all, but it looks like he's been able to, lick at least a portion of his life and become a father, and I just wish the best for him, because, you saw the rise and then the precipitous fall of that man. What a talent, what a fighter he was. And if he'd been all there, I wonder what more he could have been. So your point, well taken. Just an amazing sports documentary, if you will. If you haven't checked it out, do check it out. Our guest at this time, Bas Rutten, a man who's entirely too busy. Do you miss our friend who is coming on this very show next week, Big John McCarthy? Do you miss his presence in Southern California?
Yeah, we do, but I can completely get it. It's getting so ridiculous right now here in California, the taxes, everything. I mean, I don't know what this governor is doing. It's just ridiculous. And my wife wants to escape already, also go Texas or go North or South Carolina because, it's crazy. The rules that they have here right now, it's so comedians are losing their jobs. They don't want to go on stage anymore because everybody's offended. You can't say anything anymore. It's such a shame that the world's going down the drain and all that hate, the violence, and all this blood life of fighting and racism and all that. Come on, it's really not that bad.
No.
Do you have any friends or do you know anybody? I don't know any racists. And I go like, wow. Whatever they say on CNN, they say it's 1 in 3 of them. I go, well, I don't get it. Scott.
Well,
It's so
consider
much-
the source, boss. Consider the source. It's CNN, for goodness sakes.
Yep.
I don't know that they've reported an actual fact in a number of years. I feel bad that I was part of the fundraising effort to put them on the air. That was many years ago. That's a long story. I'll get into it with you later. Boss, we want to give you an opportunity, of course, to promote your business efforts because, quite frankly, you've had a positive effect on so many people, whether it's through humor, through your likability, but your appreciation for the sport. While that's very serious, you still find the silver lining, and that's the fun in competition. What would you like to share with our listeners?
It's like what I said with the O2 trainer, that will be a thing, but I would rather share, just every situation there is, always step back. This is what I tell my daughters all the time. And look at whatever problem you have, look at it from a different point of view, like you're floating or hovering above it. And then you're going to realize that there's many ways to easily fix that problem and just fix it. And don't shy away. And things that when you tell yourself, I'm going to work out today, go work out.
Yeah.
Because if you don't do it, now you're weaker. And if you do that 5-6 days in a row, 2 weeks, a month, now you never go to the gym anymore. A habit is really easy to acquire, a good habit, but it's also really easy to lose. And it's just stick to it. We are getting so weak right now. Everybody needs a pill for cholesterol, high blood pressure, sleeping, whatever it is. We all need pills for it because don't want to work out. Let's get a pill that loses weight. No, get healthy. What about eating right and getting healthy? That's how you fight COVID, by the way, as well. Nobody says that. Nobody says go get vitamin D, vitamin E, take all that stuff and work out. Get yourself healthy. Then if you get COVID, it's so much easier to deal with. But no, stay home, put a mask on, and breathe in that own crap. I mean, dude, it's so logic, but we lost all track of reality, it looks like.
Amen.
So step back, relax, and just attack the problem that you have and attack it. And whatever you tell yourself you're going to do, whatever it is, do it. And even if it's an hour workout that you say, I can't do an hour, do 20 minutes. It doesn't matter. But if you don't do it, you broke that promise to yourself and you get weaker. That's how it goes.
Boss, on the show Inside MMA, you were kind enough to have me a guest on many different times, and I appreciated that. But you always did one thing, and that was you sang me. I don't know that you did this for anybody else, but you sang me on or off my segment. Do you recall this?
Oh, you know what? I did an interview with Ron Kroc. He just started a radio show yesterday, and he said we worked so much together. He said the thing that I miss is that every show you're always singing.
Yeah.
And it's one of the things that I do at home. I do it if I'm by myself in the car. This is all like what you see is what you get. I never do something for look at me. I just love and enjoy singing. Yesterday my wife started laughing again because I started making up this song in Dutch for her. It's I don't know. I just enjoy doing it, and especially to friends.
and you found a way to put my name into the song. I think it was Rock the Casbah. So yeah, it was beautiful.
Oh, Rock the Casbah. Yeah.
There you go. All right. I knew I'd get him out of him without just saying, would you please sing my damn song?
Yep.
Boss, we love you. We appreciate you so very much. You are a true highlight reel in my life. You've made it. And I've really enjoyed talking to you, but more than anything, I enjoy our friendship. I appreciate that.
Thank you very much, God. And same here, brother. I mean, we know each other for a long freaking time now.
Yeah,
so
right.
This is great that we did this. And good luck with your radio show. This is awesome.
God bless you. Thank you.
All right.
There we go. Boss Rutten heads to the showers. It's one thing, and then Frank Shamrock, Boss Rutten, Dan Gable, all things in common. And most wrestlers will tell you this, most wrestling coaches in particular, they usually have daughters and not sons. Boss has 3 beautiful daughters.
It's crazy how that works out
Isn't that
way.
crazy? Tell you what, we're going to take a quick time out on the program. You're listening to USA Takedown across the country, coast to coast, border to border, and all those ships at sea. You can take a listen to all of our past episodes now online. Thanks to our good buddy, Mr. Danny Bishop, our executive producer, and he'll make sure they are free to you, and that's the most important part. There is no barrier, like some companies will present. There's no barrier for you to enjoy our guests. We appreciate that as well. All right, stay tuned. More after this. You're listening to USA Takedown from the Wildrose Casino Studios only on Iowa Sports Leader. This is 1350 ESPN Radio.
Think you've heard everything? Stick around. You ain't heard nothing yet. More USA Takedown after this.
Hi, it's Danny Bishop. Today's economy presents certain challenges, and along with those come opportunities. The potential rewards are for those who are adept at identifying long-term trends. Don Boyd and his team of financial advisors at 5 Talents Financial Management Group can help you navigate today's economy. Whether you're facing retirement or just looking to better understand certain investment ideas, they can help you. 5 Talents Financial Management Group's first priority is your overall financial success. And that's why they learn about your individual situation, identify your dreams and goals, and get a picture of your tolerance for risk. Long-term relationships that encourage open and honest communication are the cornerstone of their foundation of success. FTFMG.com or call 223-7487, 223-7487. 5 Talents Financial Management Group.
Calderberg's PBS Landscaping knows what grows best in Iowa because they're from Iowa. Locally owned and operated, Calderberg's is a full-service landscaping and lawn care company. Everything you need from lawn care and landscape design to water features, tree planting, irrigation, and snow removal. Matt Calderberg and his staff are great. They take care of my family year-round. They can take care of yours, too. My office and home, they cover it all. They're my friends and should be yours as well. Visit them at calderberglandscaping.com.
All right, welcome back to the show, USA Takedown. As I say, coast to coast, border to border, and all those ships at sea. It is America's Wrestling Radio Talk Show. Bogle and Casper from the Wildrose Casino Studios. Can't thank them enough. They have always been there for us. Last guest is one of those guys that can light the world on fire, treats everybody the same. I remember I was going into makeup, right, to do the show Inside MMA on HDNet. And I was their wrestling guy, okay? And what's very cool for me is that out of the chair, coming out of the makeup chair, was Leonard Nimoy, who played Spock on Star Trek, right?
Of course.
And it was like, boss was more interested to talk to me than he was Leonard Nimoy. And I'm thinking, this is Leonard Nimoy. Leonard Nimoy's exotic pet store in Los Angeles.
Right.
I love that. All right. So anyway, thanks to Boss Root, and thanks to you, our listeners, for tuning in every Friday here on Iowa Sports Leader 1350. This is ESPN Radio. Our next guest is a guy that's absolutely making it happen. He's caught your attention. Why has he caught your attention? Let's talk about that first.
Well, he's caught my attention because Campbell University, they're on the up and up. I got to watch them wrestle last year against Iowa State. And they beat my Cyclones, and they're just on an upward trajectory ever since. They got a new head coach in Scotty Sentis, and I'm actually going to get the opportunity to go down to North Carolina here in the next week or so, and I'm excited for it. So we have him on the show today.
You're going to Buies Creek?
Let's do it, yes, sir.
Let's do it. Top of the mountain. Top of the mountain, top of the day to you, Campbell head coach Scotty Sentis. Scotty, how are you?
I'm doing great. How you guys doing?
Good morning. Good morning.
First of all, you're getting all kinds of national attention on this show and the Stalemate show, and I mean, how are you holding up under all the pressure?
I don't feel any pressure. It doesn't exist. So
That's right. Pressure makes
having fun, but happy to have you guys' support. I love what you guys do for wrestling. So.
Oh man, that's nice. I appreciate that. All right, so. The call came. The obvious invitation was that, hey, we want you as the next head coach of the program. What was that phone call like?
Well, initially I was heading out to Navy with Kerry. The AD called and he just said, hey, would you want to consider staying. Right after that call, I called Kerry back and talked to him and decided it was something I wanted to look at and do. And they brought me in for a meeting. They asked me what my vision was, and the rest is history.
So here's what I take away. Not only did you make a great decision, my estimation, okay? But, Coach, here's the deal. You go to Navy, you got to do everything the middies do, and that is take sharp left turns, take sharp right turns, sit down everybody at the same time for lunch, for mess. I mean, it's a drill waiting to happen. Great big room. Everybody has to wrestle at some point during their academy stay, right? But the athletes there aren't as, and I don't want this to seem like a knock, because it's not a knock. It's an observation. Their first goal is to their country, okay, and to the service of their country. And these are some very intelligent dudes, but their workload, their class load is phenomenal. I mean, it's amazingly difficult. At Campbell, lifestyle may be a little bit different, where you guys can have a little more fun, and the guys are there to go to school for sure, but they're also there to wrestle. You understand the difference?
I mean, I hear what you're saying, but I know Kerry, and I know he's going to throw in the right guys.
Coach, did you do something to your phone there?
Can you hear me?
There you are. Sure. Go ahead and explain the difference.
Yeah, I mean, so here it's academics and wrestling there. I know you add in that military service, but I still think Kerry's going to be able to draw in some top-notch guys, and I know he's creative enough to run that room, so he's probably the right guy for that job.
Got a great announcer.
Here I think we might be able to be more creative with our times. There he might have, might have to work out at this hour of the day, whereas us, we can work out in the morning, afternoon, whenever we can tweak it to be unique. And so I don't know how much freedom he'll have to do that or not, but I'm sure he'll find a way. He's the guy to do it.
He's Kerry Colat, for God's sake. I mean, you look at his history, it's one of the guys I revere so much. And what a job he did with you, bringing you on as assistant. I just think there was a natural progression. I'm sure glad that folks at Campbell agreed that bringing you on board was strategically perhaps the best possible move to make you head coach. I think it was a wonderful decision. Let's go to Zach Bogle. Zach, you're going to go down there. What has attracted you to Campbell? And perhaps your view, your answer, will tell our listeners why the athletes are so eager to go to Boys Creek.
Yeah, I mean, so it's North Carolina, right? So it's a lot warmer there this time of year, right?
Yeah, some would say.
Yep. But also, if you look at their coaching staff too, what's it like having a guy like Noah Gonser on your roster?
Oh, Gonser's a nutcase. So Gonser is director of oppositions. That guy's a maniac.
So I gotta keep my eye out on him.
Yeah, a little bit. He's a maniac in a good way, though.
Okay.
In a good way.
Okay, I like that kind of guy. But who are some of the wrestlers that who are your bonus point guys that you got on your roster this year?
Oh wow, okay. I would say first and foremost, if there was one guy that I think is the epitome of Campbell wrestling, it's Josh Heil.
Heil, yep.
That guy is. I mean, that guy does everything a national champ does and more, and the extreme leader on our team. And having the recruiting class we had, Josh has sort of been the leader. He sort of set the bar on how to train, how to act, how to carry yourself. And so having a guy like him, that's the guy I say, hey, if you could be more like this guy, you're going to go far. So he'd probably be my biggest bonus point. Him bumping up to 49 this year from 41. I think last year he learned how to win those close matches. He didn't have as much energy, and I think that helped in his growth. And now he's up at 49, where he's always the first one in the room, last one to leave, and he's got the energy, so he's just grown tremendously in wrestling. So he's somebody that I'd say, look out for, to be scoring a lot of points.
What about Zach Barnes out of Southeast Polk, right here in the central part of the United States?
Yeah, I mean, Barnes is what you would expect out of an Iowa guy. He goes in there and he bangs. So anyone that knows Zach knows that he's going to go in there and grab your head and try to rip it off.
Yeah, that's important. And then that is so typical of the Southeast Polk Rams. And I just can't say enough of the legion of athletes they've produced over the years. And what about Benjamin Barton? Have you had a good talk with him about his choice of mustache?
I was just looking at this.
Yeah, Barton's awesome. So Barton was SoCon champ 2 years ago. Last year he redshirted, and he's a guy that's always kind of gone in late into the roster, got his red shirts pulled, and always end up needing him at the end of the season. He's always came through for us. So he's awesome. I don't know if I have any say in his mustache, but I hope he keeps it. I hope he never gets rid of that thing.
Maybe that's where the power lies. Our guest, Scotty sent us on the Defense Soap Newsmaker Hotline. By the way, next week's guests include Bellator announcer, always the king of all officials in mixed martial arts, Big John McCarthy will be joining us, as will Jakara Winchester, one of the stars of USA Wrestling. And right now, women's wrestling is on the forefront of all news in the sport, and rightfully so. Maybe their pay will catch up with Flow Wrestling, but I'm just saying.
Shots fired.
What?
Shots fired. So next weekend, Coach, you guys have some wrestle-offs going on. Are you excited about that?
Yeah, excited to finally put the singlet on. It's kind of been a crazy year with contact tracing and guys in and out. So I feel like these last couple weeks we've been able to keep it together, keep guys in the room. So I think we have a pretty good product. I know I'll be honest, it's not one of those years where I know the top guy at every single weight. I think most of the weight classes, it could go one way or the other, in both guys I'd be happy with representing us. So I think you're in for a treat. I think you'll be surprised at some of these matchups you're going to be seeing here. Are there some years where wrestle-offs are kind of more like a formality, like you kind of already know your guys, maybe one or two up for grabs? Is that sometimes the case? That's usually the case. Usually you're just doing it because it's just been something you've always done, right? It's just start of the year wrestle-offs, but you already know who the starters are going to be. You already know who the best guys are. You've seen them scrap. You've seen them train. This year, I just think we have a higher quality room. We have a lot more depth at weight classes, and particularly the top two guys at each weight. I know who the top two pretty much are at each weight. They're just even. They're both just good, and bringing in this class we got last season, this top 10 class, it's going to be interesting. Because I've seen these guys train and seen them in a room, but sometimes it's different when you put that singlet on, you have that Campbell across your chest, right? So just seeing how these young guys who are, highly touted recruits, how they're going to respond in their first Division I matches. And I think that's going to be interesting to see. And you add on not having fans here for the first time, I think that's going to add a whole nother element to things.
Mm-hmm. So what happens if you have a wrestler that beats one of his teammates, and let's say 9 out of 10 times he usually loses to that guy, but on that 10th time he wrestle-offs, he ends up pulling it off and he pins the guy, he sticks him in kind of some freak move. Do you end up going with the guy, or do you go with the guy who wins 9 out of the 10 times?
Me, I'm probably going to go with the guy that wins 9 out of the 10 times. Right, depend on who you ask. Here's what I will say, though. That you bring up an interesting problem, though. So this year there's no open tournaments.
Right.
And usually that'll kind of be the deciding factor of things. It's 1 month long, and so, for us, we have 51 guys on the team.
Wow.
And really only 15 of them will actually get matches this year. So it's going to be a unique year, and keeping these guys driven and keeping these guys working, it's going to be, it's going to be a unique challenge, I think, for a lot of coaches.
I started following you when at Riverdale High you compiled a record of 213-3. Now get this, kids. When you look at what he did, 51-0 in his senior campaign, 36 falls. Now, how are you not on the radar of Tom Borelli at Central Michigan? The Borelli is well known throughout the state of Florida as well, but Central Michigan comes a calling. Was it a difficult decision as to where you were going to go? Because I know you were being recruited as an athlete by other schools as well, but Central Michigan, maybe they spoke louder. I'm not exactly sure what the difference was. You went there, got a degree in English.
Yeah, so my family's from Michigan. So my brother went to U of M. My dad, my mom grew up in Michigan. I was born in Michigan, and my dad's a big sports junkie. He's on all the wrestling boards. He's one of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
So he followed Central Michigan, and in that time, Flow Wrestling was just starting to kick off. It was just starting to get a little bit popular. And so he says, "Hey, I want you to look at Central Michigan. What Tom Borelli's doing here is amazing. Look how many All-Americans he has every single year for X amount of years running. So my dad did his homework, and I said, Dad, it's Central Michigan. Never even heard of him. And my dad says, it doesn't matter. It's sending you to a camp. So he sent me to a camp, and I got to see, what Tom Borelli was doing there. Casey Cunningham was actually there at the time.
Right.
Now at Penn State. And I just saw the way he interacted with his guys. You can tell he was very honest. He's just he's just an old man, right? So it's somebody you feel like you can trust. And I went there, and I just knew that was a place that I could win. And I think I needed somebody like Borelli. I was a little bit wild out of high school, so I needed somebody like that wasn't afraid to make me pick off a stick from a branch off the tree to whip me into shape. So he was the guy to do it, and I think that was the best choice for me, without a doubt.
One thing that I don't know if you're paying attention to, I'm sure that you are, but Campbell University's social media game, you guys keep getting ranked up there pretty high with some of the bigger programs, actually outdoing a lot of the programs.
Amen.
How does that happen, and who's behind that?
Yeah, so Josiah Harisco, he's our guy. So, Kerry hired him. He's a Penn State fan, so he's one of those, deep fan wrestling guys. Runs his own wrestling company, and he. Listen, I wish I could tell you that I give the guy ideas, but he just comes in. He says, "Hey, I'm doing this week," and I just let the guy run with it. And
nice.
He seems to draw in a lot of people. He's always got different ideas for new content, different ways to hit it, and he's really into it. He's a home run. I hope I keep him here as long as I can.
Coach, I don't want to destroy that idea that you have of wanting to keep him, but once you give him my number, have him call me. I'll get him booked on the show, because we need more guys that could emulate that and be great promoters for our sport. And I think it would be interesting to talk to him, especially from the social media aspect. But no, I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up a guy's name that initially, before getting to know him, I butchered terribly, and that's Win Mahalik. Part of your staff now, but is a guy that is very quiet, a quiet and confident guy. When as an athlete, I would see him walking down the hallway of a shared hotel with glasses on, reading a book as he's walking. I'm not going to say he's blind as a bat, but I mean, the dude was definitely focused on that book, very close to his face. You know what I'm talking about. He's a voracious reader and is a terrific guy. What's he like as a member of your staff?
Yeah, he's amazing. And if you don't already know, I go a million miles an hour, and Wynn's pretty calm and collected.
Very.
And so he balances me out very well. He's really good in individuals, very technical. I know he likes to break down and explain, why moves work, and I think it's good for our guys. But he's been excellent so far. Him and Daryl Thomas from Old Dominion has also been excellent. And they all play a big role. And I feel lucky. I think timing was everything. I know he wanted, Win Mahalik wanted more responsibility, and he was kind of the third guy on the ladder at Michigan State, just based on those other guys that have been there longer. And so coming here, having a little bit bigger of a hand in things, I think he's enjoyed, and he's really, stepped up to the plate.
Coach, I got to ask you, I'd be remiss if I did not ask you your opinion of the Ivy pulling back all sports because of COVID related. They seemingly have all the money in the world, but they don't want to risk their athletes, in their opinion, or their statement anyway. They don't want to risk their athletes or their coaches. What are your thoughts about the Ivy taking a powder on the year, competitively speaking?
Yeah, I think it's terrible. I feel terrible for the coaches. I feel terrible for the athletes. I think there are a lot of really smart people over there that are working in the administration and the student body. I think they could have found a safe way to do things. And so it's heartbreaking. Those kids went there for the quality education, but they also went there to wrestle and win. I mean, you look at programs like Cornell and Princeton, and it's really hard to imagine a season without those guys.
All right. And, Chris Ayers.
I hope it's something they can come back from and change.
Mm-hmm. Well, all we can look for, and I've had the pleasure of announcing the SoCon. I announced one year the SoCon and the ACC championships combined. And all I know is that there's great coaches within the conference of the SoCon, and the Southern Conference. And I can only tell you that it's much stronger for having you as the head coach at Campbell. I think they picked the right guy. You're a ball of fire. And you're right. There's a huge difference between you and Mihalik, and it's that energy. You just constantly go. You wear me out, Coach. I got to tell you. Scotty, it's good to talk to you. And by the way, fans, if you are keeping track at home, there's no E on the end of Scotty. No matter if I put one on my press releases or not, it's just SCOTTI. Scotty sent it. Scotty, it's always good to talk to you. Best to your fam. And tell Mihalik that he owes me a call.
All right, I will do, man. I appreciate everything, and thank you guys a lot.
All right, God bless you. He's the king of the SoCon right now. Scotty Sentes, head coach, Campbell and the Camels. We're going to take a quick time out. We are live right now. But before we go to the break, I want to ask Danny a quick question. Danny, if you're hungry and you want some solid breakfast, where are you going?
Oh, I'd probably choose Mullets.
Mullets restaurant?
Huh?
Mullets restaurant?
The restaurant.
Right down by the ballpark.
The place with the best breakfast menu in town.
Including the
hash browns.
Hash browns. There it is. All right. I want you to check out our friends John Royer and his staff at Mullets Restaurant. They do it right. Kevin Dresser loves the place. Danny Gable loves the place, and you will too. Check out our friends at Mullets. We'll be back after this. You're listening to USA Takedown on ESPN Radio. Stay tuned.
USA Takedown is brought to you by Barbarian Apparel and Caldenberg's PBS Landscaping. Stay tuned. More USA Takedown after this short timeout.
The term barbarian was first used in ancient Greece. The athletes were said to be barbarians. Today's modern athletes embrace the hard work when wearing the great gear from Barbarian Apparel. You make the choice. Custom graphics, the best sublimation, colors that pop, and logos that matter. Barbarian provides great service before and after the process. Make the right choice. Choose Barbarian Apparel. BarbarianApparel.com.
The wrong financial decisions can undermine the best intentions. Whether concerned for your business or your family's financial future, Trent Weatherman will develop a plan, identifying your goals, and set you on the path to financial security. Trent makes plans for people, no matter your goals. Trent has access to top-rated products and services to help you meet them. In April of 2019, NerdWallet identified Northwestern Mutual as the best life insurance company. Northwestern Mutual is in the top 10 U.S. independent investment broker-dealers in the United States. See the difference for yourself at TrentWeatherman.nm.com.
Communities need leaders. The birthplace of Bob Feller, Van Meter, Iowa, has too. Paul Cysewski and Jim Sinclair have always been there for their community and for the thing that drives us, wrestling. In a position to help or need a cause to get behind, your neighbors and friends can use a hand. Leaders always come together to help, to plan, and to work to make their communities a better place to live. So special thanks to Jim Sinclair and Paul Cysewski, two examples of men who lead. Follow these two professionals on LinkedIn for investment opportunities and more.
All right, welcome back to the show. Big program on tap as it continues. Next week, no different. Lou Roselli, head coach of the Sooners. Ramiko Blackman, Matt the Law Lindland, Drew Periano, Jakara Winchester, Big John McCarthy, but nobody's bigger than our next guest. If only in a name. And what is the name, really? It's people listening, okay, and then spelling it correctly. When I invited him to watch the Iowa Barnstormers on the road in Cedar Rapids, he said, yeah, let's do that. And so they had a placard with his name on it that he proudly displays in his office even today. And it's not on the placard, it says Travis Dvorak, but his name is Travis Dvorak with a V. He joins us now as Wildrose Casino GM. Good morning, Travis. How are you, my friend?
Oh, you just put a big smile on my face, my friend. Good morning to you.
It was so much fun. And
that was a fun night. You know, I almost changed my name because of that.
And the fact that you saw fit to keep it and then display it in your office, do you have to explain it to people when they guest in your office?
I've done it a couple times, yes. It's a good story. I love that story.
Well, your boss, Tom Timmons, and even further up the ladder, Gary Kirk, are huge fans of the Barnstormers. I know you are too. The Barnstormers looking to and itching to get back on the field to play at Wells Fargo Arena. But they have been the recipient of, I think, 3 or 4 brand new teams two of which are in Arizona, and it may be 5 teams now, but the IFL, the Indoor Football League, continues to grow while the other leagues have all taken a powder. The IFL showing strength in numbers, and I know that, Gary Kirk don't bank on a loser. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, that's great to hear because Wildrose, we're one of the sponsors of the Barnstormers, so it's always great to see that they're growing, and Jeff Lamberti and that group down there does a great job, and I'm not surprised to hear that they're growing. Well,
same with Wildrose. One of the things I get from Wildrose is a constant influx into my inbox of pictures. I get it on Facebook. I get it on social media of showing the winners that are apparent at Clinton, Emmitsburg, and Jefferson. Right now, our concert scene may be off a little bit because of the COVID, and understandably so. But Wildrose has taken a lot of precautions to make sure that the experience at Wildrose is safe, affordable, and fun. So we're going to get into that in a minute. But I was talking about your presence on social media. I don't know who's responsible for that. But when you give away a car, man, the look on the faces of the people that are the winners is phenomenal. It's tremendous, and it comes through loud and clear in the photographs. Who's responsible for social?
That's a little bit of our marketing department here. Obviously, Aaron and John Lee with Lebo Marketing, and Aaron down there with the corporate office. But our marketing staff up here with Corinne and Tracy and Lynn, they're all hosts, and they're out there taking care of the customers. They're also taking pictures, getting out there. We're celebrating the wins. The best thing to do is talk about the wins. Who doesn't want to win? And we should talk about and celebrate all the time. That car one, I'll just tell you the quick story. We gave away a car a couple months ago. It's a nice, beautiful Mustang. Mm-hmm. And we put it on social media, but by the time we put it on there, about 1,000 people already knew because the winners already put when they won, they took a picture. And all their friends, some lady from Carroll and her boyfriend won it. And half of Carroll knew it before we got out there, and we were only a half hour behind her on the Facebook posting.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Isn't that fun, though, when the guests, and that's what they are your guests, and you treat them as such. And you have a tremendous, and I can't say this about all casinos and all places, entertainment venues like yours. You guys treat your guests and those that attend functions, whether it's concerts or just come to eat or gamble and game, but you treat them with a great deal of respect. I don't know where that starts, but surely at the hall, at the place, man, in Carroll, you're the man.
It's all Midwest values. I'm going to show my age here because I always talk about this with all the employees that come in. And I always say, you always remember the TV show Cheers, come where everybody knows your name. And I always talk about Norm. Mm-hmm. 10 years ago, everybody understood that comment. Nowadays, I have to look at the employees and say, ask your parents what that means. So I'm showing my age. But, we got 3 casinos. They're all in small areas. We're not the biggest, but we try to do our best to be the best. And right. We're part of the community through and through, and we want to be that place where you come and everybody knows your name.
Before Wildrose got to Carroll and opened its doors, and by the way, in a 1-year period of time before, Wildrose got the okay from the State Gaming Commission, it took 1 year for Tom Timmons and company to assemble a casino that was something to be proud of, both artistically but also from a gaming perspective. It's well designed. It's well laid out. You're not going to go in there and get bombarded by all the cigarette smoke and whatnot you'll see in so many casinos. This is a well thought out casino with everybody in mind. That's in Carroll. Emmitsburg, same way. You've been at all 3 locations. I think you and I first met when you were in Clinton. Yeah.
Yep, I used to work in Emmitsburg, and I was in Clinton. That's where you and I met, and then I came over here next to Carroll over here in Jefferson, and this is the newest. But, the other thing, I just had this conversation this morning. What's nice about being new, you get all the new technology. So we have higher ceilings, and then we have it where the air blows up from the floor and pushes up to the ceiling.
That's cool.
And we recirculate every 20, 30 minutes, so there's always clean, always fresh air, which is good for the smoke, and especially nowadays with everything that's going on with COVID, it's an added bonus that we're getting fresh air in and bad air out right away.
I think that, and how forward-thinking was that? Not even knowing this was on the horizon. Gary Kirk doesn't spare the expense to make a positive experience. And I said, Carroll's been so well affected by this, but really all of Greene County, Jefferson primarily. But that bell tower did not ring before the arrival of, for a long time, for years before the arrival of Wildrose Casino. We're going to continue our conversation with our guest, Wildrose Casino GM, one of those that's so important in the decision-making process of all locations, but he is Wildrose Casino's Travis Dvorak. He'll continue on the Defense Soap Newsmaker hotline, and on the other side of it, you're listening to USA Takedown, brought to you in part by our friends at Barbarian Apparel and by Ghazali's Mediterranean Restaurant. I'll speak it well. And by Don Boyd and his 5 Talents Wealth Management team. More on the other side. Stay tuned. It's USA Takedown on ESPN.
Stay tuned. Casper and Bogle will be right back with more USA Takedown.
Hash browns are always part of my favorite breakfast, and the place to get Des Moines' best breakfast is Mullet's Restaurant. Hi, this is Danny Bishop. Stop by on your bike along Meredith Trail by the confluence of the Raccoon and Des Moines rivers. Sit on their 2-level patio, peruse the famous breakfast menu, and you'll understand why Mullet's is the best breakfast restaurant in Des Moines. Mullet's, celebrating all things about the hairstyle that's business in the front and party in the back. Just go to the west end of the Southeast 1st Street Bridge to find Des Moines' best breakfast at Mullet's Restaurant.
The Defense Soap Facts. Dateline, Cleveland, Ohio. For 12 years, he competed. For 17 years, he coached. And for 30 years, he's policed the streets of Cleveland. He saw teams and programs decimated by skin-borne disease, a wrestler's worst nightmare. He didn't like the chemical-based products on the market and knew that there had to be a better way. A better defense. He found religion in the ingredients that make up the basis for Defense Soap. Tea tree and eucalyptus oil. Defense Soap. All natural, safe to use. It's available around the world now at defensesoap.com.
Yep, it's still 2020, the year that just won't end. If you need a break, how about this weekend at Wildrose Casino and Resort? Come play at our house, just across the river in Clinton, Iowa. Slots, tables, great players club perks, and the DraftKings Sportsbook. You don't have to be stuck in this when you could be doing this. Play and stay at Wildrose Casino and Resort, Clinton, Iowa.
Must be 21 or older. If you or someone you know needs gambling treatment, call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Welcome back to the Wildrose Casino Studios. It's only fitting that we say that with our current guest on the show, right, Scott?
That kind of pays the bills, I'll tell you that.
Absolutely.
And we're grateful for that. We are. We don't ever take our partners for granted at all.
Travis, I got a idea to pitch you.
Uh-oh.
Yes, sir.
So I'm a barber, and I talk gambling all the time with my clients. We talk sports all the time, and I don't know how many of my clients have made the trip up to Jefferson so they could get registered with DraftKings. You guys should start supplying a shuttle for us people to get up there.
I like that idea.
The barber bus.
Idea a lot. I'm looking for a shuttle driver. You got somebody in mind?
Scott, maybe. Scott? No?
I got nothing but time.
He's got nothing but time. All right.
Okay.
Well, we'll put you on podcast the whole time. Would be perfect.
Let's do it.
I'm going to talk a little bit about what's going on today. And Travis, chime in. It's beer o'clock, Friday, November 13th. It's today, my friend. What can folks expect from the It's Beer O'Clock promotion?
Oh, you threw me off guard.
How about $2 Bud Light bottles and Busch Light bottles? I'm just telling you, I'm keyed in, my brother. I'm keyed in. There's baked chicken specials going on tonight.
Got that as well.
It's baked chicken with baked potato and vegetables for $10. And believe me, the food's always good at the Coach's Corner. Yeah. But also, here's the capper for me, okay? The VIP Invitational Friday the 13th drawing. What can you tell us about this beautiful 2020 Ford Escape?
Well, I'll tell you a couple things. The beer o'clock that we do on Friday nights, we've been doing for several months. It's been very popular. Busch Light and Bud Light is the preferred drink up here in Jefferson. Big Chicken's been very popular. We've been doing that for months. It's just that everybody here likes it. We're going to keep doing it until they tell us to quit doing it. And again, the beers are $2 a bottle. The Big Chicken's a $10 for Big Chicken. We got potatoes, vegetables with it. Tonight, Friday the 13th, we're going to have a little fun on Friday the 13th. Normally it's a bad year, but this 2020 thing is just limbo and weird and bizarro. So Friday the 13th is probably going to be your luckiest day of the year.
Right.
So we're going to give away a brand new Ford Escape from our friends here at New Wave Ford here in the county and down there in Coon Rapids. And big, it's black, it's beautiful, and what we're doing now, we're really focusing on our customers. The more you play, the better cards you get, the higher level you get. When you get these higher levels, we're going to start doing some drawings. So when you start playing more and get these higher level of cards, we're going to start giving away more stuff. And so to reward our loyal customers, we've invited them to come in and win a chance to win this beautiful Ford Escape.
Now, I alluded to the fact that when Wildrose said they were coming to town, they're going to give back to the community, and they do so. You guys do so in the tune of millions of dollars over the years.
Yeah,
millions.
We've been here for about 5.5 years. We give 5% of our revenue to the county, and they distribute out here. They've donated to wings of the hospital here. There's a brand new high school here that was 25. It was funded by us.
Wow.
We've been here just 5.5 years, and we're over $7 million in money to the community.
That's wonderful, and it's dedicated. Gary Kirk, has. I don't know how he comes up with these ideas, but knowing about the former Olympian, who I guess always an Olympian, who was born and raised in Jefferson, but also the history of Jefferson as a town. That tells you an awful lot about Gary. He's a deep thinker, and it's no different about the Gallup poll. And right now, polls are taking a beating across the country, politically speaking. But George Gallup and company is proud to say, "Hey, Jefferson is our home."
Oh, absolutely, and yep, Gallup poll started right here, and one thing that's great about working for Wildrose, I've been working for them for 14 years, and Mr. Kirk and Mr. Timmons and that whole group, they're Iowans. They care about Iowa. It's all about the Midwest, and it's all about the community. And we give more than there is state requirements what to give, but we give twice as much because we do care about our communities that much.
Mm-hmm. And that bell tower is ringing, by the way. I love that bell tower. It's very unique. There's only 2 of them in the world, and one of them is right there in Jefferson.
And it is beautiful. Next time you come up here, we'll have to go up. It's a beautiful sight.
I didn't know you could go up.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay, let's do that. That'll be a plan.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, there's a big elevator, and you can take the stairs, but I'm too old for that. But.
We just had a ball. They're doing weigh-ins at the bowling alley. I love the folks at the alley. And
Spare Time Lane. Those guys are great.
They do a great job for us, and it's a great, fun place to have the weigh-ins. And they also make great hamburgers. I'm just telling you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
All right. So
I've had a few too many bacon cheeseburgers there myself. I know. That's why I probably should use those stairs at the Mahaney Tower.
I'll join you. We'll make it a contest. First to the
top. Might have to take a break halfway up, but we'll make her.
We'll do that. I'll guarantee you that. All right. People are asking, before we run out of time, what's going on with the hotel. Where are they at in reopening with the
they're remodeling. That derecho hurt so many places in Iowa, and it did get the hotel. They are remodeling as we speak. They don't think they'll be done by the end of the year, but they're hoping early January, February, and it's going to be a brand new thing at that point. So it's going to be beautiful.
Great. Well, and our thoughts and prayers are with everybody, and especially our friends, the people that we know of, and they always took good care of us when we stayed, and we look forward to staying again. Travis, we're sending you some gaiters, some neck gaiters for a charitable event you're involved with. What is it?
Yes, Wildrose, we talk about being part of the community. So, and all 3 Wildrose locations are part of the community. Gary, Kirk, and Tom Timmons are part of the Des Moines community. And I'm involved with Rotary here in the Jefferson Rotary. We're having an auction starting next week, Tuesday through Saturday. We're going to do it all online because of COVID. It's 32auctions.com/Jefferson Rotary. I've got 90-some items there. I'll probably have 100 when it's all said and done. And one of the great, we got a lot of features, trips all around. We got sports memorabilia. Trip to Hawaii is the big one to me. But, yeah, thanks to all your friends under ESPN and USA Takedown Wrestling, we've got a 6-pack of Gators coming.
That's what I'm talking about. And those
Gators ones too, with the red, white, and blue on there and the flag. I think it's beautiful. You might have to outbid me on that one.
Well, I'll join you in the bidding. I'll promise you that. Best to Gladys when you talk to her next. We miss her so much. Leroy, her husband, as well, the Van Dykes. But Travis, it's always a real pleasure every time I get a chance to have you on the show. I appreciate that and our friendship. Thank you.
It's always a pleasure being on your show. Thank you for all you do.
Make it your choice. Wildrose Casinos, Jefferson, Clinton, and Emmitsburg. And that choice is easy. Once you've been there, you'll go back. Appreciate it. Thanks, Travis.
All right. Well, thank you.
There we go. On our Defense Soap Newsmaker hotline, this portion of the show brought to you by Advantage Physical Therapy, by Mark Cody, and by Hassle-Free Marketing. We'll tell you more about Hassle-Free next week. I can guarantee you that. For all of us at USA Takedown, I'm Scott Casper for Zach Bogle. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you next week.